I'm going to preview the number 14 Baylor at number 22 West Virginia women's basketball game, which will be played February 1st at noon Central Time on ESPN. I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. This is a huge game in terms of the Big 12 Conference. This could also impact NCAA tournament seeding down the line. Baylor is 19-3 overall, 8-1 in the Big 12. West Virginia is 17-5 overall, 7-3 in the Big 12. West Virginia did lose their prior game, and it was against Utah, and I went over it earlier this week, 71-64. While Baylor obviously played against Houston last game, it was scheduled to be on Sunday, but because of the weather, they moved it to Tuesday, and they won that game 82-66. I will say, though, Nikki Collins was not pleased with the defense in the second half, to say the least. What are some players to keep an eye on for West Virginia? And I'll put the outlook on them in the description below. The first player is Gia Cook, number 3, 5'8" guard that is a junior. 14.5 points per game, 30.7% on threes on 101 attempts, 75.6% on free throws on 131 attempts. And she is a player that Baylor should recognize because she was in the Big 12 last year. She was at Houston, in fact, I believe. There's Kiara, 2 rebounds per game, 2.5 turnovers per game, 1 steal per game, 1.6 fouls per game. There's Kiara Wheeler, number 22, a 6'1" forward that is a senior, 13.4 points per game, 29.4% on threes, but that's on 17 attempts, 54.9% on free throws on 82 attempts, 7.1 rebounds per game, 3.2 turnovers per game, 1.7 steals per game, 0.7 blocks per game, 2.5 fouls per game. Jordan Harrison, number 10, 5'6" guard that is a senior. You should recognize that name, Baylor fans. 12.6 points per game, 19 for 76 on threes, 81.7% on free throws on 93 attempts, 3 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists per game, 3.4 turnovers per game, 2.8 steals per game, 2.6 fouls per game. Cindy Shaw, number 5, 5'9" guard that is a senior, 11.6 points per game, 39.8% on threes on 133 attempts, 78.1% on free throws on 32 attempts, 4.7 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, 2 turnovers per game, 2.2 steals per game, 1.4 fouls per game. There's Carter McCray. She's a transfer from Wisconsin. Number 1, 6'1" forward as a junior, 7.6 points per game. She's 1 for 1 on threes, but she's not attempted a lot all year long, as you can tell. 52.5% on free throws on 59 attempts, 5.4 rebounds per game, 1.5 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 2.4 fouls per game. There's Cindy Woodley, number 2, 5'8" guard that is a senior, 5.3 points per game, 16.7% on threes on 18 attempts, 85.4% on free throws on 41 attempts, 2.2 rebounds per game, 0.6 turnovers per game, 1.3 steals per game, and 1.3 fouls per game. There's Riley Makaluski, Makalusky. Apologize if I butchered that. Number 21, 6'2" forward as a junior, 5 points per game, 21 for 50 on threes, 78.3% on free throws on 23 attempts, 2.1 rebounds per game, 0.6 turnovers per game, 1 foul per game. There's Jordan Thomas, number 23, 6'3" forward as a sophomore, 4.6 points per game, 0 for 1 on threes, 67.6% on free throws on 37 attempts, 2.9 rebounds per game, 1.1 turnovers per game, 1.3 fouls per game. And the last player I'm really going to go mention is Celia Riviere, number 37, 6'3" forward as a senior, 2.4 points per game, 0 for 2 on threes, 58.3% on free throws on 12 attempts, 2.3 rebounds per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 0.6 steals per game, 1.1 fouls per game. Across the board, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring in this game. Whatever you did wrong last game, you got to correct. That, I know that's obvious. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively in this game. You got to be good in late game situations, both on offense and defense. And I would expect West Virginia to play a little bit angry. After all, they just lost the last game to a team that they shouldn't have. And obviously, Baylor has some pressure going in this game. They have won 8 straight conference games. And that's no easy feat, especially when you look at who are some of the opponents. I know Iowa State's not as good. Colorado beat Iowa State. They're no pushover. Kansas almost beat TCU last night. And obviously they beat Utah, that beat West Virginia. They also beat TCU as well. I mean, Utah did. They obviously beat BYU, though BYU is no sleeper team. I mean, no team to sleep on at all. After all, they did defeat Texas Tech last week at home. So you get the whole point in terms of who they played. And obviously they played UCF and Houston. That's the 2 easiest opponents up to this point. I'm just saying. I know there might be some questionable officiating in the game, but you got to be the more mentally tougher team and find ways to win. I get it. I know it could be frustrating, especially if they don't want to call ticky-tack stuff or clear foul and they don't call it. But you got to you got to deal with it. Now, defensively, contain the shooters, contain the slashers. You got to try to limit them in terms of like the number of attempts at the free throw line as much as you can. You don't want to let them live there. You got to limit the second chance points. If there was a weakness, I would say, for Baylor wins basketball defensively, it's the defensive rebounding and the second chance points. You got to limit that, and you got to get some defensive boards. I'm just saying. And especially if you want to stop them from doing the press right out of the inbounds, you try to make them inefficient as much as you can. Don't give them easy looks. Take away the best players of the game, for the game, and make them inefficient. You got to limit the points in the paint. Same thing goes for the fast break points and points on turnovers. That's where West Virginia lives sometimes. And they'll make you pay if you turn the ball over. I'm just saying. Now, obviously, you want to limit their 3-point attempts, but they're not a great 3-point shooting team. They're not. They were 2 for 12 last game, believe it or not. And I do not know the injury stats going into the game. And we'll know when the game gets closer, obviously, and all this. Now, you do need to cause some turnovers, and obviously having some block shots would really help and make them. And Baylor's one of the best 3-point shooting defenses in the country, so that really does help in this type of game, and they do have length. That could limit their inefficiency, and one of the best shot blocking teams in the Big 12. Cause some turnovers, because sometimes your best offense comes from your defense and goes into the offensive keys. Get some points at turnovers. I mean, you got to make them pay. And take care of the ball. That's rule number 1, I would say. Take good shots. Make your free throws count. Get some points in the paint where it's like a straight, like, get and go or post up. Or you go straight to the basket and go lay it up. And got to get some transition points. You got to get some offensive boards and get those second chance points. That can be a difference in the game. And honestly, another thing across the board, you got to be good on your side out of bounds, and whether it's on the sideline or underneath your own basket on offense and defense as well. And you got to be good in those clock management situations on offense. If you're up late in the game, you obviously want to try to take as much time as you can and then try to get a good, clean shot instead of shooting it too early. And I expect Nikki Collin to be really focused on the defensive side of the ball after all. They gave so many points in the second half. They didn't play any defense. But I think part of it might have been like, hey, they've been sitting around for a few days, so their focus might not have been there entirely. And that might have been a good wake-up call for the team. After all, if that was a better team, they would have lost to them potentially. And obviously having a Atulia Scott step up in this game would really be helpful for Baylor, to be honest. And when you look at her stats, she is a key player for Baylor. I mean, 20 points per game or more. And look at her, read those numbers. And obviously, Darion Little-Page-Bug needs to do her role, get like the double-double as she typically gets. And obviously having Belle Fauneroy step up, like for sure on the defensive side of the ball. But if her offense comes around, that would really be helpful, especially from the three-point shooting side of things. When she's open, and hopefully Yu Ting Dong has a good game. Same thing goes for Jana Van Geinbeek. And one of the following three post players needs to step up for sure, maybe even 2 out of 3. A Kirsten Johnson, a Kayla Nelms, and a Kyla Abraham would really be helpful. And Markayla Johnson needs to just do her role, honestly. And I know there's a Neza Gorianova who's going to play potentially. She could play in this game. She just needs to do her role. As honestly, there's a wide open shot for her. Take it. And another thing the team needs to do is not try to go for the home run ball every time. Just make the simple play. Not overcomplicate things. And Ella Brown could play, maybe, depending on what happens and all this. And obviously, you got to limit your foul trouble while getting them in foul trouble, especially to the key players. And be road warriors in all this. And you just know, this is a huge game, and if you do want to find a way to be a top 4 seed or even better like a 3 seed, you got to win your key games like this. Especially going forward. And I'm not trying to look ahead. But you got Cincinnati on the road next. I would think you would win, but Cincinnati has beat a few teams that they shouldn't have. There's obviously Arizona State. They're fighting for the NCAA tournament lives. They're better than last year, though. Still, though. There's obviously that huge TCU game at home. You get TCU at the very end of the year as well. You should beat UCF on the road, but UCF beat somebody that they shouldn't have, and they push Baylor a little bit at times and climb back. And there's obviously that rematch against Texas Tech as well. And you should beat Arizona, but they were competitive with Arizona State, yeah, like the other day. And there's obviously Kansas State who beat Texas Tech, but who knows about that Test Heel situation. And they're fighting for NCAA tournament lives as well. So it's a doable schedule. To be honest, it's more like this is your first key game out of 4 in terms of the ranked opponents potentially. Who knows about Texas Tech being ranked down the line? But I would still consider that a key game because of the revenge factor. And let's stay focused, one play at a time. Have some resiliency. And if you have a lead, protect it. If you're down, climb back in it. It's kind of like when you were down so many points, like 19 points to Oklahoma State, and you try to rally, come back. And hopefully do not put yourself in that position. But just know, you can do this. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later. On the road to 8 unsubscribes. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my mind, this course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see this, and the video does help as well. Some more people can watch. And if you're watching, and that subscribe, hit subscribe button for the notification bell as well. And please do not lose your composure in this type of game. I know there might be some questionable officiating, but don't want to lose your composure to a point of like a brawl with somebody. And honestly, you got to stay on the bench if there was something going on. And West Virginia's proven that they can withstand that and win the game. They did that against Duke earlier this year. And I'm just saying, I hope that that doesn't happen across the board. I know. But I'm still would be very leery of West Virginia. They're a good team, but there was a weakness on West Virginia's defense. It's a three-point shooting efficiency. So, from the offensive side of the ball. So let's keep them that way. Contain the slashers. Make every shot very difficult. Get the board and run your offense.